طيب، الحمد لله رب العالمين، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أزواجه وذريته كما صليت على آل إبراهيم، وبارك على محمد وعلى أزواجه وذريته كما باركت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Inshallah, today, Saturday, it is the 17th of Jumada al-Ula according to al-Qura calendar, 1439. According to the Crescent Committee, they say no sighting that was reported whatsoever, and therefore today is the 16th according to them. Yesterday was the 15th. Although they take from the news also from Saudi Arabia, so I don't know if they did not receive or Allahu A'lam. But anyhow, this is the case, and that's matching. Today is what, the 3rd of February 2018, and we are doing the book الداء والدواء, the disease and the cure, also known as الجواب الكافي, the sufficient reply. لمن سأل عن الدواء الشافي, to the one who asked about the healing cure. And the Sheikh is talking about al-lafazat today. Al-lafazat, right? So he spoke about al-nazarat wal-khatarat before. Al-nazarat, the plural of nazra, look, and khatarat, the plural of khatra, which means a thought or idea that crosses your mind. So today he will talk about al-lafazat, which is the plural of lafza, which is one word that is pronounced, a pronounced word, a pronouncement, lafza, right? So he was saying that these are 4 doors from which the sins enter upon the servant of Allah. So each one has to be his own gatekeeper or his own doorman, so that those foreign elements will not come in and then they will make you fall into sins. The looks, the thoughts, and today the words, right? He said, وَأَمَّا اللَّفَظَاتِ فَحِفْظُهَا بِأَنْ لَا يُخْرِجَ لَفْظَةً ضَائِعَةً. For you to preserve, to guard your words that you say, it is for you not to make any wasteful word come out, exit from your mouth. بأن لا يتكلم إلا فيما يرجو فيه الربح والفائدة في دينه. In a way that one will not speak except with that which he hopes to profit and benefit from in his deen. You do not say anything except something you are hoping to profit or benefit from it in your deen, for your religion. فإذا أراد أن يتكلم بالكلمة نظر. So if he wants to speak a word, he will look. هل فيها ربح وفائدة أم لا? Is there a profit? ربح is a profit. So if you made profits in your business, that's called ربح. ربح. ربح يربح ربحا. ربح is a profit, right? Is the returns. فائدة is benefit, right? فائدة is benefit, right? So you look, is there a profit or any benefit in the word that you are going to say or no? He said, فإن لم يكن فيها ربح أمسك عنها. If there is no profit in it, he should hold himself back from saying it. وإن كان فيها ربح, and if there is benefit in it, what do you think if there is benefit in it? Let him talk, right? He says if there is benefit in it, nazar, he would look. Still don't talk. If there is benefit in what you are going to say, you still look into it. نظر. هل تفوته بها كلمة هي أربح منها? Would you miss out on a word that is more profitable than it? So if you have a word, if you say, you profit. Don't say it until you think Maybe there are other words that are more profitable to you to say, right? فَلَا يُضَيِّعْهَا بِهَذِهِ. So do not waste that more profitable word, right, by saying this word that is less profitable, right? وإذا أردت أن تستدل على ما في القلب فاستدل عليه بحركة اللسان. If you want to find out, right, to find out a proof, an evidence for what is inside of the heart, that is the heart of a person, then you should use as an indication, you should use as a proof the movement of the tongue, right? The movement of the tongue. فإنه يطلعك على ما في القلب شاء صاحبه أم أبى. For the tongue will make you aware, will make you see what is in the heart, whether that person wishes or he doesn't want, whether he wants or he doesn't want. You want to figure out someone, wait until he talks. When he talks, you know what kind of a heart he has, right? That's what he says. Like that scholar who he had someone in front of him looking, mashallah, someone with knowledge, right? So he was like all the time, he wants to stretch out his legs and he couldn't because there is this, mashallah. So after he finished, that man asked a question. So he knew he looks like somebody, but he is a nobody. He said, now I can stretch out my legs, right? So he goes that the tongue will tell you what's in the heart. Look at this statement of Yahya ibn Mu'adh, one of the early scholars or early people from the past, the Zuhad, who had many words of wisdom, right? And we'll see some of those words coming in Jami' al-Ulum wal-Hikam from him, right? And let me tell it to you before we get there. It is reported from him that he said, لِيَكُنْ حَظُّ الْمُؤْمِنِ مِنْكَ ثَلَاثَةً. Let the share of a believer from you be one of three, or be only those three, right? إِن لَمْ تَمْدَحْهُ فَلَا تَذُمَّهُ. If you do not praise the believer, do not dispraise him. And if you do not say good things about him, do not attack him and say bad things about him. وَإِن لَمْ تُفْرِحْهُ فَلَا تَغُمَّهُ. If you do not make him happy and smile, do not cause him grief. do not bring him sadness and sorrow. And وَإِن لَمْ تَنْفَعْهُ فَلَا تَضُرَّهُ. If you do not benefit him, then do not harm him, right? This is some of his words that will be coming in Jami' al-Ulum wal-Hikam. But this one, Al-Imam Ibn al-Qayyim, he mentions it as clarifying what he already said. That if you want to know who someone is or what's in his heart, you can use as an indication what is on his tongue. He said, قال يحيى بن معاذ said, القلوب كالقدور تغلي بما فيها. The hearts, they resemble pots that boil with what's in it. The hearts resemble pots. The pot, the cooking pot, right? They boil, so the heart is boiling and the pot is boiling, right? They boil with what's in it. وَأَلْسِنَتُهَا مَغَارِفُهَا. Their tongues are their serving spoons. You know the serving spoon you serve the food with, or the ladle. You know the ladle you use to take the soup, get the soup. The ladle, that big spoon, right? So their tongues are their ladles. Their tongues are their ladles. فانظر إلى الرجل حين يتكلم فإن لسانه يغترف لك مما في قلبه. So look at the person, the man, when he speaks, for surely his tongue is going to ladle, right? Is going to take, going to serve, right? Ladle what is in his heart. What is in his heart. حلو وحامض, sweet and sour, right? عذب وأجاج, fresh or very salty, right? Fresh water or very salty, right? وغير ذلك, and other than that. ويبين لك طعم قلبه اغتراف لسانه. جزاك الله خيرا, بارك الله فيك. And it will indicate to you the taste of his heart, the ladle of his tongue, right? Whatever his tongue ladles, whatever his tongue serves from the pot of the heart, right? The pot of the heart, right? So, this is the words of Yahya bin Mu'adh. He said, أي كما تطعم بلسانك طعم ما في القدور من الطعام فتدرك العلم بحقيقته. Like you taste with your tongue what is in the pot, the taste of the food that is in the pot, right? Then you know the reality of it. It's too hot, it's too spicy, it's too, tasty or not tasty. That's how you know if you taste it. You take with the spoon, you take a little bit, you taste it, right? كذلك تطعم ما في قلب الرجل من لسانه. Likewise, you will taste what is in the heart of a man through his tongue. فتذوق ما في قلبه من لسانه. So you taste what is in his heart from his tongue. كما تذوق ما في القدر بلسانك. Exactly like you taste what is in the pot with your tongue. وفي حديث أنس المرفوع. In the hadith of Anas that is raised up to be a statement of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. لا يستقيم إيمان عبد حتى يستقيم قلبه. That the iman, the faith of a person will not become straight, will not become steadfast up until his heart becomes straight. ولا يستقيم قلبه حتى يستقيم لسانه. And his heart will not be straight up until his tongue is straight. Now in the footnote, if you're using the same copy, the Sheikh sort of mentions the weakness of the hadith, and it does have weakness, but it has supporting evidence. So it is inshallah Hasan hadith. It is inshallah authentic. If you want to write that down there, inshallah ta'ala, just to indicate that it has support. So inshallah it is a Hasan hadith. Now this hadith, it says, it shows you the danger of the tongue. It says, your heart cannot be straight on faith, except if your tongue becomes straight, right? So if the tongue is not being straight, it's just, is being let loose to say whatever it wishes, then there is a problem in iman. There is a problem in the iman of that person. Because your iman cannot be straight until your heart is straight. And your heart cannot be straight until your tongue is straight and steadfast. وسئل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن أكثر ما يدخل الناس النار. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم was asked about what enters the people into the fire the most. Something that makes the people go to the hellfire the most. He said, عليه الصلاة والسلام, الفم والفرج. The mouth and the private part, right? This is in the Sunan of At-Tirmidhi. He said, Hasan Sahih, this is an authentic hadith. The mouth and the private part, right? This is what makes the people go to the fire the most. They speak things that will take them to the fire, or they use their private parts unlawfully, and therefore they enter into the fire. وقد سأل معاذ النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن العمل الذي يدخله الجنة ويباعده من النار فأخبره برأسه وعموده وذروة سنامه. Right? And this is the hadith that we just started last week from جامع العلوم والحكم. that Mu'adh asked the Prophet ﷺ about the action which will make him enter paradise and which will make him stay away from the fire. So Rasulullah ﷺ informed him of the head, the chief of the matter, its pillar and its peak or the pinnacle of its hump. Right? So he told him about the chief matter, its pillar and its highest top or pinnacle. Right? Then he said to him, inshallah we remember this. What is the chief matter? Al-Islam. What is the pillar? As-Salah. And what is the highest pinnacle? Al-Jihad. Fi sabilillah. That's the hadith we started last week. Inshallah we'll have a part of it today also. طيب. So then, ثم قال, then he said to him, ألا أخبرك بملاك ذلك كله. He wants an action to make him enter paradise and stay away from the fire. So he told him what he told him about the chief matter, its pillar and its highest peak. Then he said to him, shall I tell you with something that will control that, all of that for you? Look after all of that for you. I translated it last time as the master of all of that. You want an action to make you enter paradise and stay away from the fire? He told him things. Then he said, you want to know the master of this? You want to really be on top of everything, right? He said to him, Bala ya Rasulullah. Of course, he said, O Messenger of Allah. What did he do, alayhi salatu wasalam? فأخذ بلسان نفسه ثم قال كف عليك هذا. He grabbed his own tongue, alayhi salatu wasalam. Then he said, withhold this from you. Hold it back. Right? Hold this back. Right? يعني don't let it loose. Don't let it go out. Right? فقال وإن لمؤاخذون بما نتكلم به. Mu'adh radiallahu anhu, he said, we are going to be held accountable for what we speak with. فقال ثكلتك أمك يا معاذ. May your mother lose you, O Mu'adh. We said that this dua is not really meant that way, right? It's just words that go in between, right? Like we say, you know, I mean, when you don't, they just use it. The Arabs, they use that within their words. وهل يكب الناس على وجوههم يكب أو يكب يكب الناس على وجوههم أو مناخرهم إلا حصائد ألسنتهم. He said, and what does push, what shoves people, what pushes people, what shoves people on their faces or on their nostrils, on their noses, except the harvest of their tongues. Yani the tongues move, and these tongues, they have harvest, right? Yani crops, right? Consequences of the tongues. The consequences of the tongues are what pushes and shoves people on their faces in the fire. وَعِيَذُ بِاللَّهِ. Right? قال الترمذي حديث حسن صحيح. This is an authentic hadith. He said, وَمِنَ الْعَجَبِ. It is so strange, so something makes you wonder, something makes you get shocked, right? It is really strange and amazing how people do these things. He says, أن الإنسان يهون عليه التحفظ والاحتراز من أكل الحرام والظلم والزنا والسرقة والشرب الخمر ومن النظر المحرم وغير ذلك. That the human, you find a person, it is easy for him to keep guard and to protect himself from eating what is haram and from oppression, ظلم, and zina, adultery, sariqa, stealing, shurb al-khamr, drinking alcohol, drinking intoxicants, وَمِنَ النَّظَرِ, looking at things that are haram, and other than that. But then ويصعب عليه التحفظ من حركة لسانه. But it is very difficult for him to keep guard, to protect himself from the movement of his tongue. The movement of his tongue. حتى ترى الرجل يشار إليه بالدين والزهد والعبادة. To a point that you see a man whom the people point to. يعني he is well known, famous. They point to him with religion, that he is religious, that he is having zuhd, disinterested in the worldly pleasures, right? والعبادة, and worship. وهو يتكلم بالكلمات من سخط الله لا يلقي لها بالا. He speaks the words of the anger of Allah that causes Allah that make Allah to be angry. He does not mind what he is saying. He does not care, right? He doesn't give those words any weight. ينزل بالكلمة الواحدة منها أبعد ما بين المشرق والمغرب. He will go down with one word of these words that he is uttering, right? Farther than that which is between the east and the west. يعني in the fire, right? والعياذ بالله. وكم ترى من رجل متورع عن الفواحش والظلم ولسانه يفري في أعراض الأحياء والأموات ولا يبالي بما يقول. He says, and how many that you see of a man who is holding himself very much يعني back, ورع, he has ورع, right? Extra, not only regular fear, but fear and extra, even extra more. And he's staying away from things that are very doubtful. He stays away from that, from fawahish, obscene sins, and dhulm, oppression. He stays away completely from that, while his tongue is yafri, is cutting up. Like his tongue is like a shredder in our time. You know, a shredder that works. You just put something in it, it shreds it into pieces. His tongue is a shredder. He shreds the honor of not only the living people, the living and the dead. Yani someone might be attacking the humans who are living because he doesn't like them, he's fed up, they did something to him. Yani what is with the dead? The dead are already gone, right? But he is shredding, he's cutting up the honor, dishonoring the living and the dead with his tongue, and he doesn't mind what he is saying. He doesn't give it any weight. وإذا أردت أن تعرف ذلك فانظر إلى ما رواه مسلم في صحيح. If you want to know that, then look at what Imam Muslim narrated in his Sahih from the hadith of Jundub ibn Abdullah. From the hadith of Jundub ibn Abdullah, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, that Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم said, قال رجل والله لا يغفر الله لفلان. A man said, by Allah, Allah will not forgive so and so. فقال الله عز وجل, Allah عز وجل said, من ذا الذي يتألى علي أن لا أغفر لفلان? Who is he, the one that is making an oath, he is swearing about me on my behalf that I will not forgive so and so? قد غفرت له أحببت عملك كله. I surely forgave him and I abolished, I destroyed all of your deeds. يعني in the hadith that man, this hadith has passed before in the book. That hadith, it says that man was يعني someone who's يعني a man of deen يعني, right? Supposedly he said that like trying to advise, يعني after he advised that man who's committing sins, he's telling him stop. Then it seems he got fed up telling him to stop, and this man, he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want to stop disobeying Allah. So he said this out of, yani, supposedly out of, right, yani, zeal for the religion. By Allah, Allah will not forgive so and so. This is how Allah treated him. Who is making an oath, swearing on my behalf that I will not forgive so and so? I forgave him, and all of your deeds are abolished. All of them are gone, right? فهذا العابد الذي قد عبد الله ما شاء أن يعبده أحبطت هذه الكلمة الواحدة عمله كله. This worshipper who worshipped Allah, whatever Allah wished for him to worship him, this one word abolished all of his deeds. وفي حديث أبي هريرة نحو ذلك. In the hadith of Abu Hurairah, similar, something similar like that. ثم قال أبو هريرة, after Abu Hurairah narrated the hadith which is similar in wording, Abu Hurairah said, تكلم بكلمة أوبقت دنياه وآخرته. He spoke a word that destroyed his worldly life and his next life. Right? رضي الله عنه Abu Hurairah. وفي الصحيحين, in the two sahihs from hadith of Abu Hurairah رضي الله عنه, from the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم said, إن العبد لا يتكلم بالكلمة من رضوان الله لا يلقي لها بالا يرفعه الله بها درجات. Surely the servant, he speaks a word from the pleasure of Allah, he does not give it much weight. He does not mind it. He's saying it and not giving it too much weight. Right? لا يلقي لها بالا. Allah raises him up with it degrees and levels in paradise. وإن العبد لا يتكلم بالكلمة من سخط الله لا يلقي لها بالا يهوي بها في نار جهنم. And surely the servant, he speaks a word of the anger of Allah, he does not mind it, he does not give it any weight, he will fall because of it down in the fire of Jahannam. Also in Sahih Muslim, عند مسلم, إن العبد لا يتكلم بالكلمة ما يتبين فيها يهوي بها في النار أبعد ما بين المشرق والمغرب. The same meaning, that you speak a word and you don't really look into it that much, right? But then one falls because of it in the fire that is farther, a distance that is farther than that which is between the east and the west. In the Sunan of At-Tirmidhi from the hadith of Bilal ibn al-Harith al-Muzani, from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إن أحدكم ليتكلم بالكلمة من رضوان الله ما يظن أن تبلغ ما بلغت. One of you speaks a word of the pleasure of Allah, he does not think it will reach what it will reach. فيكتب الله لها بها رضوانه إلى يوم يلقاه. Allah will write, because of that word, for him his pleasure. Allah is pleased and satisfied with him up until the day he meets with him. وإن أحدكم ليتكلم بالكلمة من سخط الله ما يظن أن تبلغ ما بلغت فيكتب الله له بها سخطه إلى يوم يلقاه. And surely the one of you speaks a word of the anger of Allah, he does not think that it will reach what it reached. Allah writes for him with it his anger up until the day when he meets with him. Alqamah radiallahu anhu, he used to say, Alqamah ibn Waqqas, the narrator of this hadith from Bilal, he said, كم من كلام قد منعنيه حديث بلال ibn al-Harith. How many of words that this hadith of Bilal ibn al-Harith prevented me from saying, right? How many words that this hadith of Bilal ibn al-Harith, right, made me stop and not to say it, prevented me from saying it, because he's afraid of the content of what he will say, right? وفي جامع الترمذي أيضا من حديث أنس قال توفي رجل من الصحابة. A man passed away from the Sahaba. فقال رجل أبشر بالجنة. A man said, have the good news of paradise. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, so Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم said, وما يدريك, what makes you know, يعني that he's in paradise, good news of paradise. What makes you know? فلعله تكلم فيما لا يعنيه. Maybe he spoke in that which does not concern him. أو بخل بما لا ينقصه. Or maybe he withheld his hand back. He got stingy, right, and did not spend what does not diminish what he has, right, of the wealth. This is in the Sunan of At-Tirmidhi, and it is a Hasan. He said it's a hadith Hasan. And in the footnote here, it mentions that it has supporting evidence. But there is a narration next to it. Let me mention it first, and then I tell you the summary. In another wording of the hadith, that a boy, young man, and a youth, ghulam, he got martyred on the day of Uhud. So, استشهد يوم أحد فوجد على بطنه صخرة مربوطة من الجوع. They found on his stomach a rock that is tied up on his stomach out of hunger. فمسحت أمه التراب عن وجهه. So his mom wiped out the dust from his face. قالت هنيئا لك يا بني الجنة. يعني I congratulate you my son, have enjoyed paradise. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, وما يدريك, what makes you know, لعله كان يتكلم فيما لا يعنيه. Maybe he used to speak about that which does not concern him. ويمنع ما لا يضره, and he holds back from giving that which does not harm him. Now this narration with the mention of Shaheed and the day of Uhud, this is a weak narration, right? This is a weak narration. Right? But the other narration, which has that someone got sick and someone said, good news, having paradise, and he was told, what makes you know? Maybe he spoke about that which does not concern him, or held back his hand from spending money that does not decrease his wealth. Right? That one, inshallah, is a narration that is an acceptable one, inshallah. But the one with the shaheed is not, right? وفي الصحيحين in Bukhari and Muslim من حديث أبي هريرة يرفعه, from the hadith of Abi Hurairah, raising it to be a statement of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت. The one who believes in Allah and the last day, let him speak that which is good, or let him be quiet. وفي لفظ لمسلم, in a wording by Imam Muslim, من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فإذا شهد أمرا فليتكلم بخير أو ليسكت. The one who believes in Allah and the last day, if he witnessed a matter, let him speak with that is good, or let him be quiet. وذكر الترمذي بإسناد صحيح عنه صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال, Imam Tirmidhi mentioned with an authentic chain from him عليه الصلاة والسلام that he said, من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه. From the good Islam of a person is for him to leave that which does not concern him. And that hadith in the Jami' al-Ulum al-Hikam, already you know that. وعن سفيان بن عبد الله الثقفي قال قلت يا رسول الله قل لي في الإسلام قولا لا أسأل عنه أحدا بعدك. Sufyan radiallahu anhu, he said to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, O Messenger of Allah, tell me about Islam, a statement that I do not ask anyone about it after you. Something that will summarize Islam for him, right? قال قل آمنت بالله ثم استقم. He said, say I believe in Allah, then be steadfast, be straight upon that. قلت يا رسول الله ما أخوف ما تخاف علي. He said, O Messenger of Allah, I said, O Messenger of Allah, what is it that you fear for me the most? فأخذ بلسان نفسه ثم قال هذا. So he grabbed his own tongue عليه الصلاة والسلام and he said this. That is the one that I fear the most for you. Right? It's an authentic hadith and it's in Jami' al-Ulum wal-Hikam. You already know that. وعن أم حبيبة زوج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, from Habiba, the wife of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, from the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, and this hadith has weakness in it. كل كلام ابن آدم عليه لا له. All of the words of the son of Adam is against him, not for him. It's against him, not to his credit. Right? is on the other side, the debit side, right? إلا أمرا بمعروف, except commanding good, أو نهيا عن منكر, or forbidding evil, أو ذكرا لله عز وجل, or a remembrance of Allah عز وجل. قال الترمذي حديث حسن. Imam Tirmidhi said it's a Hasan hadith, although it has weakness actually in it, but the meaning of it is actually a true meaning. وفي حديث آخر, and in another hadith, also this hadith has passed before in this book, and in Jami' al-Ulum wal-Hikam also. It says, and this is an authentic hadith, إذا أصبح العبد, when the servant of Allah comes into the morning, wakes up in the morning, فإن الأعضاء كلها تكفر اللسان. All of the body parts, they humble themselves in front of the tongue. All the body parts, they're like humbled and humiliated in front of the tongue. تقول, saying to the tongue, اتق الله فينا, fear Allah regarding us. فإنما نحن بك, we are like based and are dependent upon you. We are after you, right? فإذا استقمت استقمنا. If you are straight, then we are straight. وإن اعوججت اعوججنا. And if you are crooked, we get crooked too, right? All of the tongues in the morning, that's what they say to the tongue. Fear Allah regarding us, right? For we are dependent upon you. Our fate depends on you, right? If you are straight, then we become straight. If you are crooked, we are crooked. وقد كان السلف يحاسب أحدهم نفسه في قوله يوم حار ويوم بارد. The pious predecessors, they used to hold themselves accountable in their statement, a day that is a hot day and a day that is a cold day. ولقد رؤي بعض الأكابر من أهل العلم في النوم. One of the senior people of knowledge was seen in a vision, in a dream. فسئل عن حاله, he was asked about his condition. فقال أنا موقوف على كلمة قلتها. I am made to stand. يعني موقوف, he doesn't, when موقوف means like when you are taken, you are put you are put somewhere, right, in order to be tried after, يعني, right? موقوف, right? He is taken away and he's laying in wait. Why? Because of a word that he said. This is a vision, a dream, right? قلت, what is the word that he said? ما أحوج الناس إلى غيث. How much the people are in need of rain, rescuing rain, right? فقيل لي وما يدريك أنا أعلم بمصلحة عبادي. It was said to me, what makes you know how much the people are in need of rain, rescuing rain, right? He was told, what makes you know I am more knowledgeable of the benefit of my servants? What makes you know? You say they are very much in need to water. وقال بعض الصحابة لجاريته يوما. One of the companions, he said to his slave girl one day, هاتي السفرة نبعث. This is نعبث, right? You need to fix that in your copy. نعبث, right? The عين before the ba. نبعث is to send. نعبث is to play with, right? And the sufra is, this sheet that you put in order to bring the food and put it on. So he said this to his slave girl, bring the food, yani, and put it on the sufra and put it on this sheet. So we play with it, yani, we enjoy ourselves, right? So, ثم قال أستغفر الله. He said, I ask the forgiveness of Allah. ما أتكلم بكلمة إلا وأنا أخطمها وأزمها. I do not speak a word except that I tie it and I hold it back. You know, khitam and zimam. This is what is used for the animal, right? To basically ride it, to control it. A harness, a muzzle, like this, yani, right? A bridle, right? So he says, I don't say a word except I harness it, I bridle it, I control it, يعني, right? إلا هذه الكلمة, except for this word. It came out from me, خرجت مني بغير خطام ولا زمام, right? Except this word, it came out from me without any control, without any rope, no harness, no bridle. You know, I did not control myself in saying it, right? أو كما قال, right? This actually is a narration that is authenticated by the Sheikh Al-Albani rahimahullah, and he said, رضي الله عنه وأرضاه في الجنة, even their mistakes, they are beneficial for us. Right? So first he gave us this advice. Although what did he say? Just bring the food, let's play. For us, you think anything wrong with this? For us, oh, let's go to that. Oh, that food I don't want. That restaurant. A'udhu billah. That's what we do, right? I will never go back there. Then you go on the internet and give them, you know, all the bad words that you know. You write it there, right? Don't go there. This is a bad place. Their food, you know. This. I don't want to say what is something said and is normally viewed to be okay. So he said that all the words. He only said, "Bring the foods. Let's enjoy ourselves." He said, "Astaghfirullah. This is not right to say this." Right? And I always hold myself, but this time it came out, right? So he said, don't memorize this from me. Rather memorize this, right? That Rasulullah ﷺ said, if the people treasure gold and silver, right? Then you treasure these words. And this hadith, we had it before in one Jumu'ah, right? If the people treasure gold and silver, then you treasure these words, right? And then he mentioned the dua. He mentioned the dua. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-thabata fil amr wal-azimata ala al-rushd. Oh Allah, I ask you to be firm on the affair, on the matter, yani the matter of Islam, the religion, right? Al-thabata ala al-amr. وَالْعَزِيمَةَ عَلَى الرُّشْدِ. I ask you to be intent, to be guided, to be intent on guidance. وَالْعَزِيمَةَ عَلَى الرُّشْدِ. وَأَسْأَلُكَ مُوجِبَاتِ رَحْمَتِكَ وَعَزَائِمَ مَغْفِرَتِكَ. And I ask you for the things that will warrant and guarantee your mercy, and the things that will bring also sure, secure your forgiveness, right? وأسألك قلبا سليما. I ask you for a sound heart. ولسانا صادقا. And a tongue that is truthful. Right? اللهم إني أسألك الثبات في الأمر والعزيمة على الرشد وأسألك موجبات رحمتك وعزائم مغفرتك وأسألك قلبا سليما ولسانا صادقا وأسألك من خير ما تعلم. And I ask you of the best that you know, O Allah. وأعوذ بك من شر ما تعلم. And I seek refuge with you from the most evil of what you know. Right? أسألك من خير ما تعلم وأعوذ بك من شر ما تعلم وأستغفرك لما تعلم. And I ask you for forgiveness because of what you know. Sometimes you commit sins you don't even know. Allah knows. So this dua is teaching you to ask forgiveness for what Allah knows. Not what you know, but what Allah knows from you. Right? وأستغفرك لما تعلم إنك أنت علام الغيوب. Surely you are the one who knows all the hidden, unseen matters. And Al-Imam Al-Hafiz ibn Rajab alayhi rahmatullah, he wrote a booklet explaining this hadith. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala extends our lives, maybe we will read his explanation, inshallah ta'ala. Right? So he made this mistake, which is in our case is not even viewed anything. Maybe we'll see, well, this is extreme, ya akhi. Right? This is extreme, especially those who go and write the reviews. Right? This is the worst ever. Don't go there. The food is this, and the meat was that, and the bread was like this. Right. And then it is saved in there, and then later on you will see it. Right? So he said, وأيسر حركات الجوارح حركة اللسان وهي أضرها على العبد. The easiest of the movements of the body parts is the movement of the tongue, and it is the most harmful of them, of the body parts, to the servant. It's true. Your tongue moves. Imagine, and this meaning has come before in the same book, right? Imagine that you move your hand like you move your tongue when you speak, right? You will need to rest your hand forever. You cannot use it anymore, right? The tongue, the movement of it is so easy. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't get tired, right? So, but then it is the most harmful to the servant, this movement of the tongue. واختلف السلف والخلف هل يكتب جميع ما يلفظ به أو الخير والشر فقط. The early scholars and the later scholars, they differed. Is it all that is being uttered of good and bad being recorded? Right? They have two positions on this. على قولين. أظهرهما الأول. The stronger of the two positions is the first one. He said that the scholars past and later, early scholars and later scholars, they differed. Is it that the angels, they are recording all what you said, or just good and bad? There are things that you say that are not called good or bad. You felt pain, you say, this is not good or not bad, right? So is that written or not? He says that the scholars differed. And the stronger position is the first one, he says. That everything you say is written down. وقال بعض السلف, some of the pious predecessors, they said, كل كلام ابن آدم عليه لا له. All of the speech of the son of Adam is against him, not for him. Is against him, not for him, right? Not to his credit. إلا ما كان من ذكر الله وما والاه. Except that which was part of the remembrance of Allah and what revolves around it and what is like it, of the obedience, right? If it is dhikr or an obedience of Allah, then it is to your credit. If it's anything other than that, then it's against. وكان الصديق رضي الله عنه يمسك بلسانه ويقول هذا أوردني الموارد. الصديق Abu Bakr رضي الله عنه used to hold his tongue, and he used to say, this tongue made me go into the places of destruction. This is an authentic narration from Abu Bakr as-Siddiq رضي الله عنه, and it has passed before. The Sheikh mentioned it earlier, right? When he was talking about the sins and the sins of the tongue, he mentioned it before. So if Abu Bakr as-Siddiq holds his tongue and he says, this tongue, he made me go into places that are not, right, good, places of destruction, mawarid, right? He put me into problems, right? So what about the rest of us? He said, وَالْكَلَامُ أَسِيرُكَ فإذا خرج من فيك صرت أنت أسيره. The speech, the words you say, they are actually your captives. Your words are your captives. Captives. You are يعني as if you are holding them, right, with you, your captives. But if it came out from your mouth, then you became its captive. You become its captive, right? The words, as long as you did not say, you say them, you have control over them. You are the one who is jailing them, right? If they come out, those words, then you are the one who is captivated by those words. وَاللَّهُ عِنْدَ لِسَانِ كُلِّ قَائِلٍ, and Allah is at the tongue of every speaker. مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ. In Surah Qaf, ayah 18, he does not speak or utter a word except that he has right there a watcher who is ready from the angels, yani. A watcher who is ready to record whatever you are saying. Any word you utter, then you have a watcher who is ready to record. He said, وَفِي اللِّسَانِ آفَتَانِ عَظِيمَتَانِ إِنْ خُلِصَ مِنْ إِحْدَاهُمَا أو إِنْ خَلَصَ مِنْ إِحْدَاهُمَا لَمْ يَخْلَص مِنَ الْأُخْرَى. The tongue has two grave problems. If one is saved from one of them, he will not be saved from the other one. آفة الكلام وآفة السكوت. The problem of speaking and the problem of being quiet. Both of them are a problem. وقد يكون كل منهما أعظم إثما من الأخرى في وقتها. And each one of them may be more grave of a sin than the other in that specific time. فالساكت عن الحق شيطان أخرس. So the one who is quiet from speaking the truth, he is a silent shaitan. عاصٍ لله مراء مداهن. He is disobedient to Allah. He is showing off, and he is also appeasing and pleasing the people in a way that he is displeasing Allah. مداهن. إذا لم يخف على نفسه. That is, if he does not fear for himself. And you're supposed, if you see something wrong, you're supposed to speak and shun it and reject it. As long as you don't fear. If you fear for yourself, you have an excuse. وَالْمُتَكَلِّمُ بِالْبَاطِلِ. This is the other side now. As for the one who speaks falsehood, شَيْطَانٌ نَاطِقٌ عَاصٍ لِلَّهِ. As for the one who speaks falsehood, then he is a speaking shaitan who is disobedient to Allah. So either one is a silent shaitan, the other one is a speaking shaitan. The silent shaitan, he sees the falsehood and the haram and he doesn't reject it and shun it. And although he's not afraid even for himself, he has the ability to stop the evil, even by his tongue. Right? And the other one is one who is speaking falsehood, right? Things that are wrong. This one is a speaking shaitan. وَلَيَذُ بِاللَّهِ. He said, وَأَكْثَرُ الْخَلْقِ مُنْحَرِفٌ فِي كَلَامِي وَسُكُوتِهِ. Most of the people, they are crooked. They are deviant. They deviate in their speech and their silence. They are crooked in their speech or in their silence. فَهُمْ بَيْنَ هَذَيْنِ النَّوْعَيْنِ. They are then those people, they are between these two types of people. وَأَهْلُ الْوَسَطِ وَهُمْ أَهْلُ الصِّرَاطِ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. The people of the middle course, the people of the straight path. كَفُّوا أَلْسِنَتَهُمْ عَنِ الْبَاطِلِ. They withhold their tongues from falsehood. وَأَطْلَقُوهَا فِيمَا يَعُودُ عَلَيْهِمْ نَفْعُهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ. And they released their tongues in things that will bring benefit for them in the next life. فلا ترى أحدهم يتكلم بكلمة تذهب عليه ضائعة بلا منفعة. You do not see one of them speaking a word that will go wasted on him without benefit. فضلا عن أن تضره في آخرته. Let alone that word will harm him in his next life. He does not say it if he doesn't expect a benefit, let alone for it to bring harm for him. He doesn't say it at all then. وَإِنَّ الْعَبْدَ لَيَأْتِي يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ بِحَسَنَاتٍ أَمْثَالِ الْجِبَالِ. Surely the servant of Allah, he comes on the day of judgment with good deeds that are like the mountains. فَيَجِدُ لِسَانَهُ قَدْ هَدَمَهَا عَلَيْهِ كُلَّهَا. He finds that his tongue, he destroyed for him all of these mountains of good deeds. وَيَأْتِي بِسَيِّئَاتٍ أَمْثَالِ الْجِبَالِ فَيَجِدَ لِسَانَهُ قَدْ هَدَمَهَا. And he comes on the day of judgment with mountains, with sins that are like the mountains. So he finds his tongue has destroyed all of these mountains of sins. How? من كثرة ذكر الله وما اتصل به. Because of the abundance of the remembrance of Allah and what is connected to it. He comes with a lot of sins, but because of a lot of dhikr and a lot of obediences, then all of these mountains of sins, they are destroyed. And the other way is true. You bring a lot of mountains of good deeds, and because of the speech, you get them all destroyed. I will stop here, inshallah ta'ala. The next thing is al-khutuwat. I chose to continue because the topic is connected. If I stop, then the topic will be cut up into two sessions, right? So we'll stop here, inshallah, and we'll take your questions or comments. We said today is the 17th.